Hi, I'm Ruthie Dahle and welcome to this video. A few months ago, I was making a mermaid costume, and before I started working on it, I decided to film the process because I was thinking that maybe somebody wanted to see how making a mermaid costume was from start to finish. So it all started with an idea in my head and a finished product that you will see at the very end of this video. Now I guess we can just get right into the video. I wanted something more creative, something more unique, so I decided to design it myself. I wanted something that didn't look like a fishtail, but something more like things you find in the ocean. That's what I wanted on this costume. I also have a detachable skirt for the very reason that it can be worn without the fishnet and as a normal skirt, so that I can use it whenever I want to. Most of the materials I already had, so I didn't have to go out and buy anything new. The colors of I will insert a picture of the drawing. So I wanted the colors of the costume to reflect the colors of the ocean. I also wanted materials and details on that costume to also be a representation of things that a mermaid would find in the ocean, like a fishnet, pearls, shells, everything like that, and what she would then make the clothes out of for herself. But what I've done so far is that I've cut out the pieces that I need in the fabric and in oh my gosh, I forgot the name for this. I will write the name on the screen. But I cut out the pieces that I need for this, and they look like these. And these are important to have at the bottom of the skirt so that it becomes stiff and it can keep the shape a lot better. Now all I have to do is iron on these. Now I have glued the interfacing on to the fabric on every single piece that I needed. What I'm gonna do is we have I'll put the name for it, I guess, but it looks like a V and it's supposed to be stitched together, so it makes it smaller and makes it more like a human body. This is about around the waist, by the way. So I'm gonna stitch those triangles together, and before I move on to stitching the sides together, and then I'm gonna attach the lining to this part, so it's not gonna be lining all the way down, just because I want the same fabric. This is gonna be a little more stiff and hard so that it can keep the rope up. Yes. Also, I made the skirt a little shorter than the drawing. What I have to do now is iron these to the side so it won't look good on the front side, and then I just have to iron them, and then I have to go back. Now that they have been ironed to their correct side, then I will now stitch the skirt together, putting the right side up on the lower part, finding the piece that goes with it. To stitch the back part, I need to measure the zipper, how long it's gonna be, and then I can stitch the part where the zipper won't be. Now all I gotta do is iron them to the sides. And so now the part that's gonna be on the inside, that is gonna be attached to the lining, it's now gonna be stitched together in the sides before I attach it to the skirt at the bottom. Now I have to iron these to their sides, and then I'll be back. Now I will attach the small piece to the bigger piece of the skirt, and I just have to make sure they align seams at the correct placement of the seams of the skirt. Now that the two pieces are one, I need to cut around the line to make the space between this. The space between the seam and the edge needs to be shorter, and then I need to cut on an angle here and here. Now it's done. I just have to iron it, and then I think that will be pretty good. Now it is ironed and it looks much better. I will now do the zipper. I don't have a exact color match, I will go for a gray one, but this is an invisible zipper, so it's not gonna be visible. And I haven't cut out the lining yet, so I have to do that next, and then attach the lining, secure the bottom part, and then stitch it all together, and then the skirt, and then obviously add the push buttons on the flaps, and then the skirt. It's basically done. So what I'm basically gonna do is I'm gonna stitch it with a wide stitch by hand, so that it stays in place and I don't have to rely on the needles. And this way it's gonna be way more secure. So I personally prefer a stitch like this one, just so that it's more secure. And now I have to do the same on the other side. And the point is that the thread shows, because you're not going to have it once the actual stitch is done, and that makes it easier to remove afterwards. Okay, if you struggle with this split opening and moving when you're stitching, I suggest you do like this. So you put it through the opposite side when you're doing the last one. So your stitch basically becomes like this. And it's very secure in its place. The zipper or the fabric doesn't move around a lot. Now the zipper is done, and now I don't have anything left to do on the skirt, so I have to do the lining. but it's getting kind of late. I did not spend the whole day doing this, by the way. I started late. But it's getting kind of late, and I just want to have a clear mind when I'm cutting the lining, so I don't waste fabric.
As I was editing the footage, I noticed that some of the video that of me making netting and me making the bra is completely disappeared. It's a mystery. I do not know where that is, but I am gonna be filming you, showing you and telling you how I made the different things. I finished the skirt the way I said I was gonna do. I did add the lining, so I did attach it at the bottom first with the machine, so it looks like this on the inside. Hold on, the netting is in the way. So it looks like this on the inside, and then at the waist I did hand stitch it, and the same around the zipper. That's how I found the best result, and it just looks like this on the inside and this by the zipper. The embroidery is attached to the lining, but only at the bottom. When it comes to a little further up, so like these, they are not attached to the lining, they are just on the fabric, because they were easier for me to move the lining around on the back to make sure the needle didn't penetrate. The embroidery I did on the skirt I should have done before I stitched the lining on, and normally I would do that, but I didn't have time to do the embroidery for the event that I was going to, so this is something I have to finish up after, and I didn't want to undo the lining. Now these, I wanted it to be like little stars that you can see in the ocean, so the same beads that are on the bra are on the skirt. So I went with a design like this at the bottom right before the netting, like a coral reef, and I have it on the side and towards the front. I don't have anything at the back because I want to be able to sit in the skirt, so the only thing I do have at the back are higher up, so I know I'm not going to be sitting on them, so they are higher up towards my waist and not on my actual bum. The netting itself are attached with the push buttons that I said they were gonna be, so you literally just do like this and the netting is off. The skirt is detached, and this is what it looks like. So for making the actual fishnet, there are different sizes of the actual holes that you can make according to what you want. You can make them smaller, you can make them bigger. So I ended up just using the measurement of my hand. You start off with the line. I made the line longer than what is the circumference of my ties together because I wanted to have something to go on. I didn't want to have something that was too short. Now, I did make 49 or 50 of these, and then divided that by the number of flaps that I have. So I have one flap in the front, and then I have 6 of those knots in between before I have another flap, so it becomes a wider hole, and then I have another 6 of those knots and then a flap to hold it up. And that's my thought process in how to make it smaller around my thighs than it is at the bottom. So it is the same width, it's just when it's gathered together it becomes a lot smaller. Because I did make it as I was going, and then I was trying it on and with the heels when it became that perfect length to see if it is exactly how long I wanted or if I wanted to go even longer. Now I finished where I finished and it's the perfect length for me. So that's what I did. I spray painted first, like I think the lightest color, which is what you can see mostly on the top part, and then darker on the bottom. I wanted that ombre effect of having the color closest to the skirt then fade out to a darker blue in the netting. And then I spray painted some silver over that to give it that shimmery effect, which is what I loved. Now the shells themselves I did pick up from a beach near me, and I washed them. I soaked them in water over the night to make sure I killed any bacteria or anything like that, so it was in soapy water, and then I washed and scrubbed it and dried them afterwards. And then when that was all done, I painted them, and some of them I even threw some glitter on top and then hairspray on that glitter so it doesn't sprinkle everywhere. I painted the shells with nail polish just because I had most colors in that, and then I put a clear top coat on top just to make it shine a little more. I did not paint all of the shells, but most of them are painted. Now for the shell in themselves, I wanted to glue them on. So what I ended up doing is using glue gun. So I filled the shells with glue. You can feel the glue here, I think. Yes. I filled the shells with glue, let that dry, and then I glued all of the shells on the netting. I made sure to press and hold until it was mostly dry before I released, making it completely random places, but also making sure it doesn't go too high in the back. For the front, the shell goes up pretty high. I think almost all, yeah, it goes all the way up to the skirt, but not in the back. In the back it goes in a little lower, so it creates that kind of effect in the back, and then it kind of fades out into what I want it to be. Now I did hand stitch a few of the bigger pearls, right size to be on the netting, because I wanted the pearls to be reflected throughout the costume, so that is what I did. Now when it comes to the bra, I could have made the bra completely from scratch, but I didn't want to do that because I've never done that before, and I wanted it to be good. So I went to the store and I bought a bra in the color palette that I needed it to be. So what I did to make the bra itself, it has these are the bra straps that came along with it. So, and then it has the off-shoulder sleeve at the side. Hold on, we need to hold this. It has an off-shoulder sleeve. Now for the off-shoulder sleeve that I have on the bra, I did fasten it to the actual bra with the stitch on the sewing machine before I placed the shell fabric. And then at the back, I just attached it to one of the loop straps that are on the bra so that I can still adjust the bra. And for making the cup itself, I just took some paper, like food paper or something like that, and I put it over the cup, and I was folding it in the way I wanted it because I wanted it to look like a seashell. With the paper, as I was folding it, I made sure secured it with the needle, and then when I was done, I took it all off, made sure that the creases were visible, like the folds that I have were visible on the paper, so that I could put that piece of paper on the fabric, and then I cut around. I made sure to cut bigger piece than I needed just in case I didn't place it exactly the same way as I did with the paper. So then I made it two-sided so that the fabric doesn't have an ugly side. It's the same on both sides, it's shiny on both sides. I didn't want an ugly side. And then I just went ahead and folded it, and then I stitched around the sides and over and around. So when that was done, I noticed that it was a rough edge at the bottom, so I decided to do something about that. I took some of the rope that I had from netting and I doubled it because it's just 3mm thick. So I took two of them and I made a spinal sennit knot, and I just started at the very edge and I glued it with super glue, and then I braided longer than I needed it to be because I knew that I could just cut it off after I placed it. So I then started placing it around, and I stitched it by hand in certain places to make sure it stuck. And then in the front, I just continued over until the next cup, and then I finished it off the same way on the other side with glue. Before I put it actually on the bra, I did spray paint it with two different shades of blue and some silver because I wanted that silver sparkle. So I did that before I put it on the bra. Now once that was done, I decided to add the lines or beads in the line of the bra. Not for every line, I think it's, yeah, every other line there are beadings. And I used pearls or fake pearls that I already had, and I got some from my mom as well. So for this bra, it is exactly two different ones, two of the same, two different ones, two of the same. There are some different colors and shapes in the beading itself. It's white and off-white, making it more realistically like what you would find in the ocean itself. Now for the back part, I wanted to make it with the same fabric chiffon that I had on the off-shoulder sleeves, but that would also make the bra not flexible, and you need a flexible bra. So what I then went ahead and did was literally make beadings of this. So there are pearls on a string and attached to just random places on the back side of the bra, so that when I move, they shake a little. That's exactly what's going on. And I just place them randomly, but I have an even amount on both sides because I do like it to be that way. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked the video, please leave a like, and if you want more content like this, please hit the subscribe button, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!